Good morning, fam. Good morning to you. Coming to you at 7:15 a.m. on Tuesday, May 21st. I want to get everybody checked in to the show. This is an early show, and we will have two shows this morning, and we will have a third show tonight right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I will let everybody get checked in. I know you guys are probably getting ready with your workday right here on Tuesday. And want to come to you early today. I have my little girl's graduation from 5th grade. So I will be on early, and then at 9 o'clock, as our normal show, will kick off with Ty Hayes from Around the Table Sports, and also Coach Merrill of the Merrill Report. And then tonight, you got Coach Jarek, and you have Coach Sean. What's good, Ruben? Coming to you this morning a little bit earlier. As I mentioned, I got my daughter's graduation here at the elementary school at 9 a.m. So I wanted to pop on. So just got back from my workout just a little bit ago, made breakfast, got the kids out the door, and going to jump on with you guys, take some calls. If you want to call in and talk about a couple more transfer pieces that particularly, which is Khalil Jacobs. And I know there's been a lot of questions about Khalil Jacobs. What is going to happen with a linebacker out of South Alabama who originally entered the transfer portal when the first transfer portal window opened, back in, I think it was like January or February, something like that. And then he pulled his name out of the transfer portal. It's been an interesting transfer to watch. And then he was going to visit Alabama, took a couple other visits, and delayed his trip to Tuscaloosa. But we do know that he did take a trip to Tuscaloosa this past weekend. So if you thought that Alabama's transfer portal, additions are completely closed, we might have to kind of wait and see in terms of the news surrounding Khalil Jacobs. And I would imagine that kind of the ball is in his court. I think Alabama would certainly be willing to take him. And I think that, depending on what he wants to do, I think Alabama would be a fine spot for him to come in. I kind of rewind and I kind of look at the situation a little bit like Jalen Key last year coming in from UAB. I thought when Jalen Key came in from UAB, I didn't anticipate him being a starter in any shape or form. I really didn't. And I don't think there was a lot of people who thought that he would be a starter. Call line is open if you guys want to call this morning and chat with me, 205-850-9094. I know it's early. You guys are getting ready. You can put me on the side, listen to me like a podcast, your morning show. It's all good. I appreciate you guys. I'll be here for maybe like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then I got to get ready because I got to get to the elementary school for my little girl's graduation. Ty Hayes will start a new stream at 9 a.m., so be sure and be notified. So that will drop. And then Coach Sean, Coach Jarek tonight at 7 p.m. right here on Bama Football on YouTube. But I kind of look to this as a Jalen Key. Because when Alabama brought in Jalen Key last year from UAB, everybody was like, there wasn't fireworks. People weren't like overly excited. Probably went back to, the fact that, I don't even know what Jalen Key was ranked. Was he a 3-star, 4-star, whatever the case was. They weren't too excited about it because he came from a non-Power 5 school. I kind of look to this in a similar situation, but the only difference is Khalil Jacobs plays a different position, which is linebacker. So just because you're not at a Power 5 school doesn't mean that you can't contribute here at Alabama. And look at what happened to Jalen Key. I don't think, he probably came here with a idea that he would be able to play. What's up, Daniel? I appreciate you coming to us from Texas, Lone Star State. Byron, what's up, man? Good morning to you. I appreciate you being here. But all of a sudden, you find yourself in the starting position because of injuries. You're only one play away if you're in the reserves for Alabama, right? To be on the field, to be that impactful. And eventually it works out for Jalen Key because I think he did a really good job for Alabama, better than I thought he would do. And then he eventually gets drafted in the NFL. So I think that was a nice transfer portal add. Now with Khalil Jacobs, where is he going to play on the field, right? I think he's a versatile linebacker within this 4-2-5 defense that can play a variety of positions. Husky rover, I think inside linebacker. So when you look to Alabama's new 4-2-5 under Kane Womack, who is, by the way, Khalil Jacobs' defensive coordinator, it could make sense in terms of him wanting to come to Alabama. And I think Kane will play a big role in if Jacobs does want to come to Alabama and continue to get developed by him, who was his former head coach. Now, when we look to Alabama's defense, something that is really interesting to me, and I know we usually talk about this Kalen DeBoer high-powered offenses that is coming, but I want to say this again and again and again, and continue to think about this when you're going through your summer. No, he has not committed to Alabama yet. We're kind of like on a commitment watch. Bama Productions, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box. I love that avatar. I think that's Ryan Williams, right? So we're waiting to see what Khalil Jacobs will do. But I think when you look to this defensive staff overall, if you want to get developed, this is still the program to come and do it at, because of the fact that I think particularly you have Kane Womack, who was a head football coach at South Alabama. That's some big time coaching experience. And then you have Mo Lindquist, right? So Mo Lindquist was just at Buffalo. So what's amazing about Alabama's football staff on the defensive side is you have these key elements coming into the defensive side, linebackers, secondary, that have coached at the highest level. Mo Lindquist coached with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think Kane has coached with the NFL yet, but he was a head football coach outside of a Power 5. So I love when the players get to be coached up by those guys. And I think if you're Khalil Jacobs and you're looking at, should I go to Alabama? Does this make sense for me? 100%. Even if you're not guaranteed to be a starter, or if the NIL, and that could be something that it comes down to, because it seems like that Auburn is a little bit in play here. But we've seen this before. We've seen that Auburn has all this money and they're going to be able to outdo Alabama. That necessarily hasn't been the case. I mean, Alabama was able to lure away Aiden Holloway on the basketball front. Alabama was able to land Ryan Williams. Alabama was able to land Antonio Coleman, right? I mean, I think there might be an additional one. And I think Alabama lost a defensive back to Auburn, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't look to this as Alabama can't outshoot Auburn. There was a time kind of back during January where I thought that Auburn was going to be almost unbeatable, or is going to be hard to match for Alabama in terms of the NIL money, because we're all, afraid of like Yellowwood and what he could do because the amount of money that he had or has. But that really hasn't been a case. I've even gone out, kind of on the conspiracy side and was like, maybe Saban left and maybe Saban is the biggest backer of Alabama through some back channel with NIL. I think that's probably, the conspiracy side of things, but it doesn't seem like Alabama's broke anymore. I mean, look at the prospects that they have added over the last, 4 months. I mean, all those guys aren't coming for free. It'll be interesting to see what Clifford Amori, the basketball prospect, if he's coming. Because I think based off like where he is, being Nigerian descent and like playing on a visa, I don't know if he can take NIL money. There's some interesting kind of dynamics there, but you get what I'm saying. Alabama isn't broke. Right? Max Tooney, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Yellowfellow has never struck me as being foolish with his money, just an observation. And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, he completely rebuilt his family's company in the logging industry. And I don't think he's going to just waste any type of money, on players, especially, what? It's hard. I get it. I love Yay Alabama, and I think you should definitely, contribute to it if you can. There's a bunch of different levels. But with that said, with the players kind of moving all around and there's really no parameters, you don't get any of that money back. Right. So that's kind of the hesitation that I would have if you were, a Yay Alabama or any type of NIL collective around the country. Is like, where is that money going? And do I get that money back if the player does transfer? Because look, you guys are not excited overly about a class of 2026 because you understand how the process works, right? Commit, then decommit, and then announce your top 12, the whole cycle of process. I think it's the same case with, the prospects today within the transfer portal. It'd be really interesting to track kind of the overall percentage of players right now on Alabama's roster that are going to be on the roster at this very day next season. Right. And that's not just counting graduation and, players running out of eligibility or whatever. I'm just talking about transfer portal movements after the season. All these windows. I mean, what do you think it'll be? Do you think that, I don't know, I guess this would be an interesting question for somebody who's really, done the numbers. What is the roster percentage that you'll have for the next season? It's hard to say because we don't know what's going to happen, who's going to, be upset with playing time or whatever and bounce out. Call line is open if you want to catch up. Linda, what's up? Good morning to you. I hope you're having a really good Tuesday, May 21st. I'm coming to you guys a little bit early this morning because I have my daughter's graduation at 9 a.m. She graduates from 5th grade into 6th grade. And then Ty will have our normal show, which will be at 9 a.m. So there'll be a new stream that starts. So look for Ty Hayes to come back at 9 a.m. Central Time. Did you have, when I was growing up, sixth grade was still a part of the elementary school. And then it morphed into sixth was part of seventh and eighth. And I know here in Tuscaloosa, and it wasn't like this in the city that I grew up in, but I think ninth and 10th were like a completely different school. And then 11th and 12th were at a different campus. And I think that was like Central High School, because before here in Tuscaloosa, there wasn't North Ridge. And I think it was just, and I don't even think there was like Paul Bear Bryant. So I think it was County and Central. Right? See, Todd Tipton is saying we had middle school 6 to 8. See, yeah. And like, you know, when I was growing up, the sixth grade was still attached to the elementary school, but it started breaking away. Patrick Sims brings up a really good point. College football needs binding contracts, minimum 2 years for NIL eligibility. I'm not mad about that 100%, because you look at different situations that happen that we continue to, and look, this will happen to Alabama at some point in time until rules and regulations are put together about this, is the fact like these, like a Caden Proctor. And I'm not mad at Caden Proctor. He did nothing to break any rules, right? There's no rules and parameters around it. He went to Iowa, didn't like it there. Was he paid by Iowa? Probably. Does he get to keep that money? Well, I would imagine so. And now he gets to keep that money. He didn't like it there. Wasn't a good fit. Comes back here to Tuscaloosa, gets paid again. And those are the rules and parameters. So look, the rules and parameters are what you go by. So I wouldn't be mad if, you know, but you would be mad if that happened to Alabama, right? If somebody came here, like think about this for just a second. What if Keon Sabb announced that he was going back to Michigan? How pissed off would you be? Yeah, see, I don't know. And I don't know if we'll ever find that out, right? Max Tooney saying, didn't Proctor's mom deny that they took any Iowa money? I don't know. You know, I don't know if we'll ever find that out, but maybe that would be the case as well. I was educated in a 6-3-3 defense, so to speak. Patrick, good to see you this morning, man. Same thing with you, Max. Hey, if you guys want to become a fan funder of this YouTube channel, it's only $2.99 to support this YouTube channel. Hit the hyperlink up top. I appreciate you guys supporting the YouTube channel. I got Ty Hayes and Coach Merrill coming in at 9. And then tonight, Coach Sean, Coach Merrill, and Jarek right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Protest this, you loser. Says, the fact that this is far down the rabbit hole, sure hope you can bring this back. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, you know, when you look to where things are out with, you know, NIL and everything like that, I don't know, you know, what will happen in the future. But we have come a long way since Albert Means. So if you're just joining us, I know we have a few people on this morning, coming to you a little bit early because I have a 9 a.m. graduation that I'm getting to for my daughter. So I appreciate you joining me on the morning front. I just got back from my workout, F3. This is Fitness, Fellowship, and Faith. So that's a big group that I am a member of here in Tuscaloosa. I've talked about that many times. So today we went and we worked downtown Tuscaloosa, and got a lot of work. And it was, you know, it's all, I've never went to a workout and been upset that I went to the workout with the guys, because it always comes back and there's always some sort of spiritual message on the back end, whether that's, call it the circle of trust, COT, whether it's a Christian message, or if it's like a message, you know, for men, like fatherhood or patience, whatever it is. Love it. Who will be the quarterback in 2025? That's a damn good question. Let's ask. And there was something yesterday that I didn't know about. I think, was it Byron who brought it up? That Ty Simpson had twins. That is, like, at that point, I'm still saying hearsay because I haven't seen it like on, you know, any of the websites. But someone said that he welcomed twins. I don't know if it's true or not, but someone said that he had twins. The reason I bring up Ty Simpson's name, because I think he will be the quarterback in 2025. Patrick saying it's beautiful in Arkansas. It's beautiful here too. It's when I worked out this morning, it was 65 degrees at 5 a.m. Let me ask you, Undefeated, who do you think will be the quarterback for 2025 here at Alabama? I mean, Dylan Lonergan versus Ty Simpson sounds like a damn good quarterback battle. Throw in Austin Mack, depending on his development. I know he's young, right? Linda, I think overwhelmingly the majority of people are going to say Ty Simpson for sure, right? It just takes one season. Can you imagine if, because the last quarterback to wait his time here at Alabama was Mac Jones, right? Nobody wanted Mac Jones to start, and that hasn't been the case with Ty. Ty's just been, below Jalen Milroe on the depth chart. But with Simpson, if he gets his opportunity, I think he could definitely lead this team to as far as they want to go. This will be the second year under Coach Kalen DeBoer's system. At that point in time in 2025, he's had more time to go over it. And you're right, Patrick, that would be his money year. Let me ask you this. I'm serious here, okay? And I know he hasn't played as many games and he hasn't thrown for as many yards, but he's still here, Ty Simpson, okay? You see where Bo Nix went in the NFL draft? Look, Bo Nix beat Alabama when he was at Auburn. And then he went to Oregon and he got paid and he threw for 1 million yards and, he was up for the Heisman Trophy, okay? He was picked in the first round. I mean, I don't know. I have my reservations about Bo Nix in the NFL. I never thought he was going to be a first-round draft pick, in my opinion. Ty Simpson, all will take for 1 year for him to have a flourishing season and to be able to go to the NFL. I mean, you think about, exactly, Byron, look what Mac did. It was just 1 year, and that was a COVID year. The team was put together around him. Guy ends up winning a national championship. It's unbelievable, right? So if Ty comes back next season, and who knows, maybe he spot plays here. I have no idea. Maybe he becomes the guy some point in time during the season. We can't predict the future. But if he, just looking at next year, if Jalen Milroe leaves, when he does leave, man, and Ty comes in, and I can't imagine how excited and the amount of confidence Alabama fans will have in Ty. They already have it in Ty Simpson to begin with. Todd is saying that Bo will struggle in the NFL. He has to read defenses. AWA says, what's up, AWA? Good morning to you, man. I appreciate you being here. You need to honor the loyalty of Ty Simpson staying. He will need to work for it, though, which I know he will. Yeah, and look, it's got to be tough because there's a whole list of programs that Ty Simpson could just step right into and be the quarterback. But it just takes one season. I promise you, he has good coaching in his corner. He has good parenting in his corner. His dad's a coach, right? Understands the systems. And we continue to learn this as we go forward, is the grass is not always greener. Just because you can be a quarterback immediately somewhere else, maybe they don't have the weapons around you. So if you don't have the weapons and you're a really good quarterback, hey, we've seen that happen before. I mean, just saying. AWA, what a lot of people don't consider is his kids come from. Most of these kids come from poverty levels and have a rough life. It's hard to turn down money when you don't have any money. And to compound on this, which I think is a very good point out, is the fact that most of these athletes have handlers and parents in the background that also want a piece of that money. So, and this happens 1,000,000%. So let's shoot for the short term $200,000 because, look, $200,000 is a ton of money, right? But it is nothing compared to $5, $10, $20 million. There's people that are in tough situations. There's people who have bad intentions that are guiding some of these prospects. Some. And the players are not even 20 years old yet, right? I mean, don't they say your brain fully develops by 25 or something like that? So you have people kind of that you trust, that you've grew up with, telling you to jump ship, to take a $200,000 NIL offer to XYZ, right? And I think that definitely happens. Really good point out, AWA. I completely agree with you. Patrick Sims is saying Ty does some things that Tua did, trying to make a big play and gets into trouble from time to time. I don't think that we've had enough time to really see Ty Simpson in terms of what he can do. The times that I think about Ty, I think about 4 different times. I think about the 2 spring games where he's utilized his athletic ability. I think last season, not this past spring season, but 2 spring football games ago, he busted out a 45-yard run. This season, I remember him, kind of chucking one downfield and using that spin move to get, didn't he get into the end zone, but they called him down? And then I think about, good morning, Chris. I see you. What's up, man? Good morning, Jeff. Coming to you guys earlier. I got my daughter's graduation at 9. Ty Hayes, a lot of ties here. will be starting a new stream at 9 a.m. But I wanted to jump on with you guys this morning. Long story short, Khalil Jacobs still waiting for a decision. He was here in Tuscaloosa, visited. I think the ball's in his court in terms of what he wants to do going forward. I think Alabama would certainly welcome him. I think they'd make room for him. I don't know the numbers. I don't worry about the numbers. It always works out. Chris is saying, just got on Kyle from Panama City. Great work again. Love the updated content, but show on YouTube. Stay relentless. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate you guys. All the Chris's in here. And Linda, thanks for being on here. Jeff, man. We got the graduation today as well in Oxford, Alabama. Yep, got you. Yeah, so it's interesting because they have the graduation and then they have 2 half days, right? And then school is really out on Friday. So, but I'm excited for it. End of school, kids, kids home for the summertime. And for us as adults, there's like the summer is, there's a good amount of time in summer. But I remember being a kid, the summer lasted forever, like 2 months, right? 2.5 months of summer was like years. Good morning, Jonathan. I'll be on here for a little bit this morning before I start getting ready for my daughter's graduation. But I wanted to kind of jump on and chat with you guys this morning. Khalil Jacobs, kind of balls in his court, from what I understand. Really enjoyed his visit. Good morning, Corey. I appreciate you. Chris from New Jersey, let's do it. Hey, Chris, I appreciate you being here, man. Got the workout in, off to a really good start on this fine Tuesday. I appreciate you calling in. Good morning to you. Good morning, Corey Wilkes. I see you inside the comment box, man. What's up, Chris? Good to hear from you.
Hey, Kyle. Well, I go away for I went away for 5 days, and you have a crawfish party.
Yeah,
that looked amazing, man.
Yeah. So I'm putting my handle on Instagram inside the comment box right now. So what Chris is referring to is my group F3. It's a big group here in Tuscaloosa. We got out and we had like an official crawfish boil. And the crawfish boil, it's like a true Southern thing. I think like shrimp and grits and crawfish. Those are like staples here in the South. And so we drove out to Foster's, which is by Coker. And, we had the live crawfish, boiled them, and all the fixings out there. So really liked it, enjoyed it, had a really good time. And look, the Zatarain level for spice was very high on one table, and it was not so high on another. So it was kind of like rotating. But I had this mushroom, which just like lit my mouth on fire. So overall, good time, good people. And here we are already on Tuesday, May 21st. This month is absolutely flying. And then June, you got all of Alabama's high school football camp. So I appreciate your comments on that, Chris, because I kind of broke down how I eat a crawfish, but you do you. What else you got, Chris?
Well, I think you should put a little ticker on the site, because Saturday is Ryan Williams' baby. So, and I think that's he's the Julio Jones for DeBoer, and I think he's going to pleasantly surprise us even this year. And I'm back from wine country, and lots have happened. I'm so happy, and this is we're going to be in football season soon, Kyle. We're going to blink an eye, and it's going to be pow summer camp. What
were some quick highlights of wine countries for those who don't follow daily? Chris took a trip out west. He's from New Jersey, but flew out west and went to wine country. So give us like the short spill. What were some high points?
I'll tell you one thing is the best thing about the whole trip is every time you stare in the sky, it's the most blue sky you'll ever see. It's Kyle, everybody had an old computer. Remember the old Microsoft screensaver?
Yeah.
It was this blue sky.
Yeah.
That's the sky over how. So somebody went outside the office and just took a picture of the Napa sky, and they just said, okay, make that the screensaver for Microsoft. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, I see Chelsea in here saying my school went from K through 12, but now Chelsea has 3 huge schools. So last season, my son's school here at Northridge scrimmaged Chelsea. So I drove out to Chelsea, and they have a beautiful high school football field. I would imagine it's new. And then Chris, getting back to you. Yeah, I think like when I think about New Mexico, back where I'm from, like the sky, I think they have like 360 days of like blue sky. And you do get that from time to time here in Tuscaloosa, but you also get, a lot of overcast days. So I think anytime you go west and you get those beautiful days of just like blue sun, it's certainly something to absorb. What else, man? What else is on your mind, Chris, this morning?
I'll say this: the people. I'll say this: the reason why you should go out to wine country, it's totally different than the rest of Florida, and you know why? Because it's based on a farm. Ultimately, most of them are farmers, and let me tell you something: farmers are some of the best people you'll ever meet in your your life. They're just down to earth, good people. What is farming? Farming is is creating food, a sustainable source, and it's a celebration of life every day.
Yeah.
You got to get up, you got to eat, and you just got to plod through life. And we all come together with we have a passion for Alabama football. They have an absolute passion for life and food and grapes and grape juice, as they call it. So it was a wonderful trip. Happy to be back. And, I look, I'm still messed up from the time change, but yeah, I was looking at the shorts to see who we were signing. Looked like we had a good time, Kyle, while I was away.
Yeah, no, it was, you had two commitments, both from the class of 2026, and they're both from the secondary. I appreciate Fred with the super chat. Thank you so much. He says his mother's out in Foster's. Well, your mother is in a very beautiful area. That is really nice. And that came on the backside through Coker, back to Tuscaloosa. Yeah, you had two commitments, class of 2026, both from the secondary. And I know people don't like to talk too much about 2026, but I think like zoom out and look at what Coach Khalil is doing, because he's already recruiting 3 recruiting classes, right? Ryan Williams in the class of 2024 who reclassified. I guess you could see the same thing with Austin Mack. 2025 is doing a really good job getting those guys, the in-state guys, to come on board. And then you look to 2026, and he's got a guy from Alabama, he's got a guy from Georgia. So like someone said inside the comment box, I missed it. Jeff, I think Jeff said it. Like, I don't want to hear about people saying that Coach Khalil can't recruit. Man, he's been doing a hell of a job. Just need a couple of those 5 stars, which I think will come. But I appreciate you calling in this morning, Chris. Always good to hear from you.
Kyle,
and yeah, go ahead.
Thing.
Yeah.
I love one thing you said. One thing you said was this is Kyle. I mean, Coach DeBoer's 3rd recruiting class. So he's had to do one for this year, one for last year, and one for 26. So that was a great comment. Listen, Kyle, keep up the great work. Thanks for doing what you do, and I will talk to you soon, my friend. Roll Tide.
All right, Roll Tide, team. I appreciate you being here. All right, that was Chris calling in from New Jersey. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it looks like we got free Mike on the line, and we'll take that call right now. Mike, what's up, man? I appreciate you joining me on Tuesday, man. Come with it.
Thank you, Kyle. Thanks for taking my call. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning out here. No shanking so far, so beautiful morning out here. Hey, I just want to say one thing about the quarterback competition, all right? One thing about Jalen Milroe, you got to admit the guy's a great ambassador for the program.
Yes.
The guy's got a smile on his face, got the right attitude, sticking with the program. Good guy. I mean, he's definitely a great ambassador for the program. But so what I'm doing this year, I'm going to put, until I'm told different by Coach DeBoer and the powers that, I'm going to put my full confidence behind Jalen Milroe, because I think that was one problem last year, and this is what I have against Tommy Reese. Man, he brought in that other dude from Notre Dame and messed up our whole quarterback room, just threw off the whole confidence of everybody, wondering why they're bringing in this transfer from Notre Dame. That's the rap I have against Tommy Reese, among other stuff. But I'm putting full confidence in Jalen Milroe until I'm told different from Coach DeBoer, because you've got to admit he's a good guy, a great ambassador for the program.
Yeah, I love that too. And I think you're right. I mean, when we talk about key elements, I think often, being an ambassador for the program and keeping that brand alive is really underrated. And I'm not sure why, because the guy emulates leadership. He's, the players really gravitate towards him. And I like the way that he handles himself, despite some of the adversity that he's probably personally gone through and the things that he reads and stuff like that. He's human, but he's done a really good job. He's handled himself like a man. I respect that. And, I can't wait to see what he does for this Alabama team going forward, because, this is going to be a big year for Jalen Milroe. And leading this team comes with a really big responsibility. specifically because all eyes are going to be on Alabama, considering that Coach Saban just left, and that you are the quarterback under this quarterback so-called whisperer, whatever you want to call Coach Kalen DeBoer, which is fine. And I think he's up for it. And I think he did a really good job last year. You guys know how I feel about Jalen Milroe. So, I think you're absolutely right. So I think sometimes when we talk about key elements, we can't forget about, just being an ambassador for your program and for the university. What else you got, Mike?
I just want to say roll tide. Everything's good. Our defensive secondary, I think our two safeties, I think it's Sab that's coming in from Michigan and Malachi Moore. I think there's a lot of confidence in them two guys. So they're talking about them possibly being some of the better defensive secondary safeties in the country. I sure hope that's true, Kyle. But that's all I got, Kyle. Roll tide. Enjoy watching the show. Y'all keep up the good work. Have a great day, my man.
I appreciate it, man. Mike calling from the other side in Austin, behind bars, actually. That call sounded pretty good. All right, we got a 256 calling in. We'll take you in just a second. Chris got me thinking about kind of growth and, working with your hands. So I've been doing my best to kind of on the weekends really take care of, all the plants that I have in my house. That's kind of been like one of my goals was to kind of like foster some growth. So I'll show you guys. This is my what I got going on at the house right now. I'll minimize that banner. And I'm really proud of this because, as you know, like it takes a lot, right, to put into your garden and the things that you grow. So these are the plants that I have. I'm really proud of them. I have 2 French bulldogs too, and 2 kids. But I have some hanging flowers over here to the right, and then I have on the bottom. I'm working from right to left, and then I have some tomatoes. You can see a tiny little French bulldog back in the background, and then I have some basil and some mint, and then some other flowers that I've put together recently. So proud of that. And do you have a green thumb? Do you have inside the comment box? It's a challenge, but I think like water, sun, rotating of your plants, putting them in good locations, and kind of just showing them the attention. I also have a really big fiddle fig inside my house as well. So like Sunday is a really big day for me. Like I spend a lot of time kind of doing this sort of stuff and like cleaning up. I'm sure as we all do, but don't overwater the basil. Okay. Yeah. Cause the mint's been killing it, but the basil, I think like the mint is so easy. Right. But I think the basil, I want to see a little bit more, growth there. So I appreciate that, Max. Thanks for the heads up. Have a 256. Hey, good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
My name's Quindarius. I'm from Birmingham. And Kalen DeBoer, he's done a great job at Alabama. I'm asking you, do you think he was the right option, or do you think we could have hired someone else?
Hey, what's up, man? Oh, I appreciate you, man. I hope you're off to a really good start. No, I think that Coach Kalen DeBoer was the right man for the job. I've had a lot of time to kind of think about that. I think at first I was on the Lane Kiffin train, and I thought that he would be the right guy. And maybe in some point in the future, he will be the coach at Alabama. But I think after seeing the way that Coach Kalen DeBoer has handled himself and the way that he has treated people with respect, and understanding kind of his place within the program, being that he hasn't accomplished a lot here yet. But he's done a really good job recruiting. He did a really good job keeping the roster intact and listening to leaders like Jalen Milroe, Malachi Moore, other people around the program that have spent time with Coach Kalen DeBoer. All of them have a lot of positive things to say, specifically Coach Saban. So, yeah, now that I've had some time to think about it, Kalen DeBoer, definitely a good option. What else you got, man?
Well, I agree with you. At first, I thought Lane Kiffin or Dan Lanning was one of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Lane Kiffin. I thought he'd get hired because Coach Saban had a good relationship with him,
mm-hmm.
and I thought he was going to be the guy. And then Dan Lanning, I wanted him bad, but now I think about it, I'd rather have DeBoer. DeBoer, he's beaten him. He's undefeated against him with less talent.
Mm-hmm.
So I think DeBoer is right.
Yeah, and you know what? I was kind of thinking about Dan Lanning, and the thing that I liked, like initially about Dan Lanning, is kind of that like fire in the belly. Remember when he came out with like some of those videos before Colorado game or whatever? Like, it seems like he's kind of like a really intense coach. But, I think you kind of, what Greg Byrne did was, for the last 2 seasons, he's been watching other coaches coach. And you look what he's been able to do, Greg Byrne, in hiring Nate Oates, right? He watched him, understood that was kind of the direction that he wanted to go with his basketball program. And now look where they're at. And I think as college football has changed to more of an offensive game with an up-tempo offense, Kalen DeBoer is that game. And I think you bring up a really good point. Kalen DeBoer is undefeated against Dan Lanning, undefeated against Sarkisian, and undefeated against Lincoln Riley. Those are some pretty damn good coaches. You got a final thought you want to get in here?
Yes. What was I going to say? I love the show. Have a good day. Roll Tide.
All right, appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in, and I'll catch up with you another time. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think I've had time to think about Coach Kalen DeBoer and if he is the right guy for the job. I mean, the way that he's handled himself with being humble, showing people respect, and I think like understanding that Alabama, they've done a really good job with kind of letting Saban go and having DeBoer come in. And I thought it was great for the fans, 76,000 to come out to A-Day to show their support. I thought that was really classy by Alabama football fans. And look, I get it. This is an easy part of your coaching time where gardening with Kyle. Yeah, that's coming up on Sundays is Gardening with Kyle, where we'll be playing some morning coffee music and gardening tips. You can call in with your gardening tips. I'm serious. That show would probably do well. My neighbor, Miss Nancy, and the lady who lives on the other side of her, you should see their gardens. It's incredible. So much respect. Like, it's one thing to get out there and have really nice lines, edging, your lines and have everything's buttoned up. But in terms of like, continued growth, now let's see how these plants and these flowers look in a month, right? So it's all about the consistency and performance that you show your plants. As soon as you don't show them attention, they're out of here. But I appreciate you guys joining me on this quick morning show. Been here for about 40 minutes, and I wanted just to kind of kick off the morning because I got to get ready for my daughter's graduation, so I got to go. But there's another stream coming up at 9 with Ty and Merrill. I appreciate the calls this morning. You guys be good people. Have a beautiful day. If there's major news that breaks, I'll be right here on Bama Football on YouTube. But today you have Ty and Merrill at 9 a.m. And then you have 7 p.m. with Coach Sean, Coach Merrill, and Coach Jarek. Efron, what's up, man? See you at the back end. Wait till Coach DeBoer gets comfortable. He ain't comfortable yet. No, and look, I'm curious to see if he keeps, if he doesn't say swear words come those first couple games, because they are, the expectations, it gets hot. We all saw Coach Saban, with the headset, a couple times. So I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful day. I'm off to get ready to see my daughter graduate from 5th grade. Children are our biggest blessing, and I got to be there to support her. Ty Hayes will get you covered at 9 a.m. with Merrill on a new stream. So look for that right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me on this quick morning segment, and I will be back as news happens. And you got Ty, and then you got the evening show tonight. Be good people and have a beautiful day, fam.